Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So today's kind of an interesting video. I want to take apart this water softener that I found last week. I do not find them often. This is my first water softener, so I am actually curious to see what's inside of it. But it definitely goes to show you that you can find almost anything and everything on garbage day and driving around. This was actually at a stop. There was a giant sign that says everything was free. So there was some flooring, some tiles. There was this machine here. And at first I didn't even know what it was, but I grabbed it because I could see some scrappable materials on it. There was a vacuum cleaner, a fan. So I did get all of those things as well, except the floor tile. So anything scrappable I took. But want to go through it today, see if I can find any good scrappable items in here and divert as much of this away from the landfill as possible. When I went home, as I said, I didn't even know what it was. Doing a little bit of research, this is actually a water softener that you can find at Home Depot, and these are actually going for about $600 brand new. So if it did work, selling it again, reselling it on Kijiji or other platforms like that definitely is going to be a lot better than scrapping it. Unfortunately, as I said, it is heavily damaged. It put a big sign on it that says broken. There were items that were cut off of it. So again, can't sell this, but definitely going to see what there is in scrap. So here we go. I've already removed the faceplate on this. So this plate here is unfortunately plastic. This is not metal, but this does have number 6 recycling sticker on it in the top here. So some places will recycle these. It depends on where you live, but this is a heavy plastic, so I am going to put this out in my recycling tomorrow. We'll see if they take it. Unfortunately, if they don't, it's going to go into the landfill, but again, it depends on where you are. But plastic. There is right here the control panel that I just have to finish cutting off here. There's one more little wire here that I have to pull off. Okay, so this is my faceplate. Again, this didn't even tell that it was a water softener. It just had a cord coming from it that actually is this right here. So this cord right here is a chargeable cord. Inside of it, there are going to be a couple circuit board or a circuit board because there are push buttons. Once I open the faceplate, here is my circuit board. And this circuit board is interesting. As you can see when I bring it up to the camera, all those little dots like that are gold plated. So you do want to check your scrapyard. As you can see on the back when I turn it, there's a little bit more gold right there. You can see on all these little things, a lot of small pieces. Again, this is gold plated, but some scrapyards will classify their circuit boards into low grade, high grade, medium grade. If that is your scrapyard, this is going to be a high grade board because of the gold on here. It's not much, but it definitely is going to be worth something. Unfortunately, the scrapyard I go to, they only have one category. So regardless of what types of metals are on the board, I'm only going to get one grade price, which is about 5 to 6 cents a pound. So better than nothing, but definitely because of some of the boards that do have higher gold plated content, there's definitely another option. And some people will go online and sell them. A great site is boardsort.com, for example, in the United States. They will buy different circuit boards and different chips and parts that come off of circuit boards. So that is definitely another great option. And you're gonna probably make more there than bringing it to a scrapyard. You do have to obviously take into consideration shipping costs. Me being in Canada, I'm not just gonna ship this one item here because the return is definitely gonna be a loss given the shipping costs and shipping prices. So you gotta make sure you check those. But this one, as I said, it does have some gold in it. So I might just hold on to it for now, see what happens. But again, you have to look at where you are. It also has some really nice appliance wire on it. So all of these cords here you can see are going to be single strand of copper, one coating. So because they only have one coating of plastic on these, it is going to be 60% appliance wire and is currently going for about $2.20 a pound. So all of this wire, I'm going to make sure that I cut off and I put into a bag. This, as I said, this adapter here, I am going to open this another time. These usually have a nice transformer inside of them, so I do want to make sure I break that plastic off. I do want to make sure I remove these brass prongs. I'm going to put them in my brass. But the rest of this cord here is also going to be 60% appliance wire because it only has one layer of plastic on these copper wires. So definitely want to make sure you separate them. Items like microwaves, something like this. I just pulled this out of a microwave yesterday. So you can see inside of this. This would be an example of my 40% appliance wire. There are 3 strands of wire here that are coated. Inside of it, there is an additional outer coating of plastic. Because there is higher plastic on here, that is my 40%, and it's currently going for about $1.20 a pound. So still a great price, but you want to make sure that you separate it. On top of the cord, as you can see, this is all one giant piece. There is a small little copper motor here. It's going to pull this red cap off. So a copper motor like this, I will not open this and try and get out the copper out of this. I will just break this off and I will put this into a copper motor pile and get me about 10 to 15 cents a pound for these. I do have a big bag of them, just of these little ones. So they do add up and they are still worth something. But as I said, in my opinion, there you can see just a little bit of copper in there, not worth opening it. So that is the control panel on this. On the back here, there is a type of motor. I've already started to remove some of the screws. Just have to finish taking off these screws. Okay, and the screws are an interesting category. Someone asked me the other day, how do I separate my screws? Are they tin? Are they shred? And when we look at tin or shred in my area or steel, the rule is you have to look at the thickness of the material. In order for it to be classified as steel, the material has to be thicker than a 1/4 inch. So screws like this, definitely going to be bigger than 1/4 inch. So I could throw these into my steel pile. Steel is worth a little bit more than tin. However, I don't get a lot of steel. A lot of your items like the outer frames of microwaves, any type of appliances, dishwashers, or dryers, washers, those outer panels, those are going to be tin. So you definitely get a lot more tin. And for me, putting a little bit of steel like this, putting it off into a separate pile is not worth it. So I will throw all of my screws and nails and things, regardless of the thickness, into my tin pile, as well as little plates like that you can see on that. So this is all going to be tin. So as I said, tin right now is still at a great price at 7 cents a pound. I just brought a load in actually yesterday and I got about 350 pounds of tin, and it did not take me long to do that. But definitely some tin here. Okay, some screws. Inside of this, I thought there would be a copper motor. Unfortunately, there is not. This is just a large piece of plastic. Okay, there is a spring on here that I can take off. Okay, but this is plastic. Inside of it, there was a small gear. And this gear is actually, if I put a magnet to this, it is non-magnetic, you can see. So if in order to be classified where you're putting this, this is actually going to be zinc. And the way I can tell with zinc is if I was to turn it around and look inside of it, you can kind of see the example of when you put an oil drop into a puddle. It's got that different colored rainbow effect, if you will. And that's what this has. So this is going to be zinc cast. If it was obviously magnetic, it's going to be steel or tin. Steel because of the thickness. Excuse me. Some things are made of cast aluminum. But again, cast aluminum does not have the rainbow effect to it. So this gear, as I said, is going to be zinc. A lot of your taps, for example, you see, and I do have a video on different taps, but some of those ones that look like stainless steel, if you look at the inside of them and they have that rainbow effect, they're zinc. Okay, some of them, if you scratched them, they reveal the brass underneath, and obviously zinc is not that, but there's definitely ways to tell. So as I said, the rainbow effect, this is zinc. And there is a classification for zinc at a scrapyard. I'm not sure how much. This is about 8 ounces of zinc. Okay, so I just throw this off into my zinc taps, but that's zinc, not cast aluminum. Okay, unfortunately here, this is plastic. There is also a relay box on this apparatus. This is a relay. If you hear the click, right on this side. Okay, so when I break this open, there is going to be a little bit of brass inside of here, as well as a small dot. That dot is going to be a little piece of silver, so I will break that off. You will find a lot of these in microwaves, for example, different appliances, dehumidifiers. You will find them connecting. So again, a relay box, another great piece of either brass on this one. Sometimes they're copper, but as well some silver in here. Okay, just going to now put on some safety glasses. This thing is opened as much as I can. I'm just going to try and pry the top off here using a pry bar. Okay, a lot of plastic, as you can see. Okay, there we go. So we're going to see what I have here. Unfortunately, this is a hose. Not unfortunately, but this is obviously a hose I can use again. But this, if I was to cut this tube here is going to be a hose. It's not a wire, unfortunately. There is probably inside this little guy a little screen. This screen is going to be, if I put a magnet to it. Okay, so that is the little screen. This is going to be stainless steel. Okay, so a little bit of stainless steel. Obviously, these are going for about 77 cents a pound. There's definitely not a pound there. But this screen, as I said, non-magnetic. If I was to hit this with a grinder and it sparks, it's going to show you it's stainless steel. If it doesn't spark, it could be aluminum. But again, this is definitely going to be stainless steel. And that's because, you know, you're not going to want it magnetized or magnetic, because with water, you don't want it to rust. So stainless steel screen there. And here we go, my last little bit. Oh boy, I'm going to turn this upside down. See if this was a big bust. Oh. All right, so large hole here. This is plastic. Well, I guess I could maybe use this as a garbage pail. But here is my water tube, if you will. This is unfortunately not going to be scrappable. This has a little stainless steel screen on it again. Okay, but unfortunately, this is going to be plastic. Looking at it, this is very heavy. Do not connect to water lines. Okay, but again, this entire thing was definitely not worth grabbing. Definitely with the weight. I thought there was going to be some goodies. Okay, but again, all I really have is a lot of garbage, unfortunately. And as I said, hopefully that outer container there, recycle, they will take that. This is definitely going to be going into the garbage because it is plastic. But as I said, I did get a small amount of scrappable material, a high-grade circuit board, if you will, some wire here. This, as I said, this is going to be my 60% wire. Definitely should have used this as a 3-minute challenge just to get that top off. But again, was interested in it, didn't know what it was, had to bring it home, a curiosity. And again, show you the interesting pieces that you can find while scrapping. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Tin Man out.